Hello, and welcome to Speak Honest. I am your host and certified relationship coach, Jennifer Noble. It has been my passion for over a decade to help women like you heal what's been holding you back from having the relationships you deserve. Are you struggling with a relationship where you can't seem to voice your emotions, needs, and boundaries without having it blow up in your face? Then you have found the right podcast, my friend. Get ready for practical tips, empowering truths, and honest conversations. Now, let's dive in. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Speak Honest. I have a special guest, and I'm so excited to get started. But first and foremost, if you are new here, welcome. I am Jen Noble. I am your go-to relationship coach. And here at Speak Honest, we talk about the hard subjects. So I have on today with me, Nyle Bondi. Now, I will get going on what Nyle is going to be talking to us about. But if, while you're listening to our conversation, which is all going to be about trauma, attachment wounds, chronic pain, how we can heal those, if this is something that you are interested in and you have been wanting to heal for yourself, then I highly recommend you continue the conversation with us over in our free Facebook community. You just go right on Facebook, type in Speak Honest. It has these cute little orange hearts next to it, so you know it's ours. Or you can scroll on down to the show notes and click on the link and join us there. But while we are getting started, I want to tell you about Nyle. Nyle is a licensed therapist who specializes in trauma, attachment wounds, and chronic pain, especially in the LGBTQ community. With a deep passion for mind-body healing, Nyle helps his clients break free from the emotional and physical toll of past wounds, stress, and systemic oppression. His work blends neuroplasticity, my favorite thing, attachment theory, and nervous system regulation to support true lasting transformation. You can see why I want him on the show, guys. This is everything that I talk about all the time. This is not just symptom relief. Whether he's helping someone untangle the roots of chronic pain, or he's guiding queer couples through the early stages of connection, Nyle's approach is deeply compassionate, research-informed, and rooted in resilience. He's also the voice, which I think is important, behind the Queer Resilience newsletter on Substack, which I was actually able to write a small piece for, where he shares insights, tools, and real talk for healing in a world that doesn't always make it easy. Isn't that the truth? And if you do want to learn more about Nyle, we will drop some links in the show notes, but you can go to healingwithinpsychotherapy.com, or you can go read his blog over at queerresilience.substack.com. With all of that said, Nyle, go ahead and say hi, introduce yourself, share anything I didn't just share there.
Hello. You covered a lot. No, thank you for that warm, welcoming intro. I'm just excited to be here to talk about chronic pain, attachment, healing, all of that stuff. You know, as we were just talking about, I love talking about the chronic pain world because a lot of people just don't have the right information about what causes chronic pain and the ways out of it. So I love to just be able to share that a little bit, hopefully offer some hope to people.
Tell me a little bit more about your background. When did you get started with chronic pain? Is this predominantly what you do now?
Yeah, I got started with this work in 2019 as a result of my own chronic pain journey. I hadn't identified that I had chronic pain because I had kind of a strange condition. I was diagnosed with something called burning mouth syndrome, but what that meant for me was that it felt like I had paper cuts on my tongue at all times.
Ouch.
It was inflamed and painful and just strange. Like the doctors were kind of just like, yep, sorry, we don't know what to do for you. But I thought of chronic pain as like back pain or knee pain or fibromyalgia, those sorts of things. So I never related to being a person with chronic pain. But anyway, long story short, a friend of mine one day just said, hey, I think you should check out this podcast called The Cure for Chronic Pain. And I did. And I started doing the work that she talked about in that podcast. And it worked for me right away.
I listened to that podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a good podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. And so then I went and got trained in something called pain reprocessing therapy, which really works with the neuroplasticity. The stuff that I got from The Cure for Chronic Pain from Nicole Sachs is really emotions-based work, really talking about how trauma and emotions get stuck in our body and how that can sometimes manifest as pain and symptoms. And then the pain reprocessing therapy is like really working with the brain in terms of trying to help your brain reframe something from pain to just a sensation. And then over time, it sort of turns down the volume on that sensation. As you teach your brain, I'm not actually in danger. It's not dangerous for me to be sitting in this chair right now, or it's not dangerous for me to go for a walk. Then your brain can learn how to turn the volume down on that signal.
Yeah, this is so fascinating. Okay, so anyone that knows my story, I definitely have dealt with chronic pain It is absolutely my identity. Ever since I had my son 14 years ago, I threw my back out when he was only like a month old, hanging laundry, and I have quite literally never been the same since. I have had pain every day of my life since that moment. I have been in ERs, I've had surgeries, I've had steroid injections, I've been on medicine. Like and no doctor tells me what's wrong with me. There's nothing on the MRI.
Yep.
Nothing is going on. I just live with it. And I gained a whole bunch of weight. I got surgery to lose a whole bunch of weight. So finally they started taking me more seriously because hi, I'm not just like a fat woman now. Hi.
So common. Yeah. I'm so sorry.
Right? So common. Like, oh, you just need to lose weight. You need to lose weight. It's like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. I've been trying and like nothing's working.
Well, and that's not what's causing your pain. And
Also
I'm
a
sorry
good point.
that they made you believe that.
They did because they have no idea. And so all this stuff, and it gets messed up in your head anyways. And so trying to figure out this back pain, degenerative disc disease, do I or do I not have fibromyalgia? This doctor says I do. This doctor says I don't. It's a mind fuck, honestly, Nyle. I hope that's okay I say that. But like, can you speak on that a little bit at all? Like, what is that like?
I mean, first off, that's a classic story that I hear that like, there's nothing on my imaging. The doctors don't know. I've been in constant pain for years. No one can help me. And the reason for that is because you're trying to treat it through your body, but the problem is actually in your brain and your nervous system. And so as long as you're trying to treat your body, you're not getting to that root issue. So sometimes you'll even see people. I actually just had a friend who went through a pretty major surgery to fix some pain. And so people go through back surgeries a lot, but when the underlying issue is actually more of a mind-body connection, what happens is that the pain pops up somewhere else later. And so I have a friend going through this right now who just had one surgery and then now has pain somewhere else and is like, what's going on? And so that's where I'm like, okay, I know what's going on. Are you ready to kind of roll up your sleeves? I can steer you in the right direction at the very least. First, I just want to say I'm sorry. I think it's such a common issue. This, like, the doctors don't know. They don't really believe me. I've maybe had to try to prove it to people, but nothing that they suggest works. So do you mind like doing a little experiment?
Would love it. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Are you in pain right now?
Yes, because I'm sitting with my legs crossed often because with one leg tucked up to try to help my back pain. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So just a little bit, I'd say like 1 or 2. You can tell I talk to doctors a lot because I know my pain levels and numbers at all times.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So not too bad.
Okay. So I want you to describe the pain to me using neutral terms.
Okay. This is good. Pinching, throbbing, uncomfortable. I guess that's kind of not neutral, but
that's okay.
Pinching and throbbing mainly.
Okay. And now I want you to just take a moment and just be with those sensations. Close your eyes if that's comfortable. And take some deep breaths. And just notice them. Just see if you notice any shifts, any changes. Just be an observer to what's happening in your body. Interestingly,
it's gotten worse.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes that happens.
Yeah. I know this is why I try to avoid it, but like,
right. Mm-hmm. But from my perspective, that's a good sign.
I agree. Knowing what I know too about the work that I do, I totally agree. So this is great. I want to tell the listeners real quick. Can we pull back the curtain real quick, Nyle?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I've been doing this work for quite a while too, pain somatic work. I worked with Gabor Mate and things like that with all of this. So like, I obviously have a bit of an understanding like with what's going on, but I also want to get back into that old body sometimes that I have where I feel that resistance and I feel that pain and I feel that frustration of that girl that used to just hate this. So now, I could kind of be like, oh yeah, it's there. And it's probably telling me that I need to rest after this, and I'm like, no, stop it. Like,
yeah.
So I want to go. I want to do this. Thank you for doing this exercise right now so people can see this.
Right. Yeah. So I'm not going to like do your own personal therapy session on air.
Come on. I want a personal therapy session, Nyle.
I mean, we can. It's your podcast. But,
that's a good point.
But why this is a good sign to me, because like nothing changed, right? You're still just sitting in the same chair. Nothing changed other than you drew your attention to this part of your body and your brain went, oh, you're in danger. Like, turn on the volume. I
don't want to be here. That's what's happening. I'm getting squirmy.
Yeah.
I want to go lay down. I want to put an ice pack on my back. Or I want to go for a walk because that helps loosen up. I didn't get a chance for a walk today because I had a client before you. So,
Right.
So now my brain is also going a mile
Right.
a minute.
Yeah. And your brain is fixating on like, oh, if I just do this physical thing, that'll fix this.
Yeah, keep going. That's good.
But really, you nailed it. It's like you're uncomfortable about like going inward and being with what's there. And so your brain is like, let me take you out of your internal emotional process. I'm going to distract you with this physical pain. It's this walk that you didn't take this morning that is causing this problem. If you could just get out of talking to this guy, go take your walk.
No, you're hitting me hard right now. Keep going. This is me. I often think I didn't do enough. I ate something bad last night, so now it's flaming me. I had gluten. I ate some pasta last night.
This is so classic.
Yeah, it's still there in my brain as we're talking. This is so good. Yeah, this is going to be, you know what, guys? Just turn this podcast off today. I'm just going to hire Nyle for right now. He's just going to talk me through this.
Let's go.
That is what goes on in my mind right there. And you caught it. You mirrored that back to me beautifully. Can you talk more about what's going on there for people?
Most of us grew up fearing our emotions, right? Like it wasn't safe for us to experience big emotions. And Gabor Mate talks about this beautifully. He's got just a really short YouTube video called Authenticity versus Attachment, where he talks about, just we're wired for attachment as young people, and sometimes we have to sacrifice our own authenticity to maintain that attachment. And so sometimes that means hiding who we are, hiding big emotions. Or if we're growing up in a chaotic environment, we might get the message from our parents, we need you to just not make any waves, which causes us to repress, causes us to hide. And then those big emotions become very scary to us. And so we avoid them at all costs. We become very busy. We take on a million activities. We numb out. We avoid. We distract. Just all of the ways that I could go off on. Like, I think this is the problem in the whole world and society. And
it really is. No, it really is.
Could go big, but yeah.
Something that's coming up for me right now then is I've been dealing with this for 14 years. And in my, healing work that, for me, this didn't come from chronic pain. It came from a broken heart. And, I found how you and I know each other through the integrated attachment theory. And I got certified in that. And all, it's like, oh my God, this is why I'm attachment focused coach now. I'm like, yay, attachment styles. You're also, with attachment wounding and all that stuff. So I started healing and I started working through my emotions. And I got a compassion inquiry, practitioner through the Gabor Mate course that I went through. And I went through some deep healing, and I've been through other types of modalities of healing this. And I know how to meditate now. And I know, again, you can hear me talking about doing. I hear it. I hear it as soon as it's coming up.
Yeah.
And I still have pain. It still runs my life. It still ruins my life. I want to be honest about this. It means I can't go on a walk. I can barely go to Disneyland I have to get a scooter. I can't stand in line.
Yeah.
I have to get a disability pass or else I can't sit in my class. Last fall, I missed out on 2 weeks of class.
Oh, wow.
Because I couldn't move. And this coming from somebody who thinks she knows her shit. So talk me through that.
No, I'm really glad you're bringing this up, because I think like the people who are a little bit on board with the mind body idea are like, yeah, but I've done the trauma work and I still have pain. And the key thing here is that nobody's bridging the gap for you. Have to really understand the mechanism of the pain and what your brain is doing in real time, because it's like your brain has developed these subtle strategies that it's been using for decades to try to keep you safe. And so you have to like just figure out, oh, that's a way my brain is trying to keep me safe. That's a false signal that my brain is sending out, but you have to be aware of it to be able to work your way out of it. Just really getting into the specifics of, for you, if are you in pain? Like, is it really constant, or is it at certain times of the day?
It gets worse for doing certain things. There's a constant low level hum kind of at all times, mainly my lower back. But then like right now I'm having a neck problem. This is why I've been diagnosed with fibromyalgia, because like you said, it'll jump.
Yeah, it bounces. Yeah. So sometimes when I have people do what we were doing before, it's called somatic tracking, where you're just tuning into the sensations and trying to reframe it. And the reason I had you use neutral terms was just because when we say things like, oh, it's excruciating, it's the worst pain ever, you're like solidifying to your brain this is terrifying. This is awful. Get me out of it. And then your brain is like, oh, you're in danger. I'm going to send out a louder danger signal. And you just like perpetuate that loop.
The neutral terms thing was really beautiful. And I like stumbled for like a hot minute of like, what is a neutral term to describe this, which really showcased to me some of the work I still need to be doing around this of like, oh, I haven't actually done a neutral term in a while, but what a beautiful way to say that.
Right. So a lot of the work I do with people is teaching them how to recognize when they're in a fear cycle and then how to get out of it. So like if you have the thought every time you stand up of like, oh, this is going to make my pain worse, just starting to go like, okay, sometimes my pain increases when I stand up, but I know that it's safe for me to stand up and that's okay for me to do.
So something just came up then for me right there. This is good. Can we just keep doing this? Like I want to listen to my body, my somatic, like old like school. Okay, fine.
More useful than me just talking. So yeah.
This is like one of those unique situations where you get this like incredibly well-adapted like client in front of you right now. And you're like, wait, hold up.
Yeah, let's do it.
My body just pushed back against that. My stomach flopped and it said, but I'm not safe.
Yep. Okay.
So talk me through that.
Why isn't it safe for you to stand up?
Because my back might go out.
And what does that mean when your back goes out?
It means like it's almost like a Charlie horse of my muscles and my lower back. And then if it goes out, I'm fucked. Like I can't move. I can't walk.
Yeah. How often does that happen for you just from standing up?
In the last 14 years, it's probably like a predominant way in which my back goes out, like either bending down to get up or like getting up. There's like this intense pain.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you're bringing this up because sometimes we have to sort of work with different layers. Something like extreme muscle tightness is very much in the mind-body world, but something like somatic tracking isn't going to like loosen that up for you immediately. And so that's where we would get more into learning how to release repressed emotions. Journaling is kind of the top way to do that. And that's the stuff where when I first encountered this work, I was like, this sounds like bullshit, but I will do it anyway.
I feel that deeply. And sometimes and here's the problem. And actually we get this anywhere, right? Because even in like our attachment world, there's a lot of people that throw stupid shit out there that's not real. Like, not all avoidance are villains that want to break your heart at all the time, and no, not all anxiously attached women are like these needy, clingy, crying whiners all the time. So in the chronic pain world, there are a lot of unfortunate rhetoric out there of just like, oh, well, your pain is just in your head and like away. And so if you're still having pain, then you just haven't worked through it. But can I tell you, to me, it feels blamey.
It's dismissive and blamey. Yeah.
Thank you. So I think that's the thing that gets me stuck sometimes is I'm like, but I have done the work. And I know my clients have done the work.
Well, the work is just a little different. It's really hard for me to explain to you why. And it's like, for whatever reason, when people get into this specific journaling process and just start to learn how to look at what's happening in their body with a different lens, then they start to go, oh, I realized that like at age 7, I internalized this about myself and I kept this emotion in. And, it's just, I don't know. It's hard to describe.
No, it is.
But people just start to make these connections in a different way. And so like back to your back pain, like, if you were my client, I would want to really get into like what was happening the year leading up to your son's birth and what was happening around that time that was so stressful to you.
I have actually tracked it back because I've done some of those journaling processes and things like that. And that's the interesting part for me. It goes back to like my family trauma, like specifically with my siblings and specifically like, let's get real. Cause why not? Right? Like the sexual trauma that happened to me as a kid. And so, and the trapped feeling of what that is. And so I think what was happening is when my back goes out. So this is what I've worked with a practitioner I was working with. But tell me what you think if this sounds up your alley. Do you know what I mean? Like if this is like, okay, tracking. It's this weird way in which I trap myself. So I have a big wounding around feeling trapped. I am trapped. It makes total sense. A lot of people with sexual trauma have that wounding.
Yeah.
Makes sense. And what happens is in these moments leading up to, giving birth, I think I was a disaster, Nyle. I've also been diagnosed with borderline, which I don't even know what, I don't care. Like it's just emotional dysregulation. It's high. I was traumatized as a kid and I'm a woman. So that's what they're going to diagnose me as. But I was a disaster pregnant, all my hormones everywhere. I was postpartum depression, like crazy for the first 2 years of my son's life. And I just trapped myself. And so what happens is when my back goes out, I get attention, I get help.
Yeah.
And I get to rest.
Yep. Okay.
And so these started coming up. So it makes sense. Like in the fall, when I'm back at school and I had a lot going on. I think I just signed my book publishing deal, right? Like things were going really well with me. My back went out for 2 weeks. But it still fucking pisses me off because I have a lot to do.
Yeah, well, right. And so, I mean, through some of the attachment work, like part of it is about teaching your system, I don't need to get my needs met in this way anymore. And it's actually not a good way for me to get my needs met. Again, if we were working together, I think it would be a combination of like the emotions-based work. I promise you, I thought that I didn't need to do that work either. And as soon as I started doing it, I was like, oh boy. Oh boy. I had repressed a lot. Like you just don't even know because it's repressed.
Good point. And we still need to keep doing it, right?
Yeah. Well, because also like things have happened to you since you've done the trauma work. It's not like we just resolve our shit and then life is good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not like my family never randomly reaches out to me.
No, right.
Or like I see something on Facebook that triggers me. Like,
yeah. Right. All of those things. And it's really about learning how to discharge stress from your body in a different way. So it's not like if you work 60 hours a week, you have to work 30 hours a week. It's not that. It's like learning how to get the stress of a 60-hour work week out of your body, like out of your psyche. Sometimes it's just like changing your thought patterns, like how you approach a situation. Sometimes it's like discharging the stress at the end of the day. If you had a shitty interaction with a coworker, like letting that energy out through the journaling so that next day when you have to show up at work, you don't have that like dreading kind of feeling about that coworker. You've like let it out and it's done and you're ready to move on. So it's just like a lot of little strategies of like, okay, I talk to people a lot about learning how to live your life just more from a place of ease. So when you talk about like this sort of obsession to fix the back pain, that actually makes it worse because you're telling your nervous system like, I can't live until we solve this problem, basically.
yes,
Like, I can't
absolutely.
be okay until this is solved. And your brain's like, oh, you're in danger? I know what to do. And so it's like you guys are just miscommunicating. So, it's like being able to go, okay, I'm going to try this new strategy, even though I'm not sure that it's going to work. Because what do I have to lose? But not like this has to work or else, or it's like getting out of that kind of energy.
I love how wrapped around my brain gets in terms of all of this stuff that you're saying, because a part of my brain is also like, yeah, but I'm such a yeah but.
Bring it.
Yeah, but isn't the act of going and finding, say, like a chronic pain specialist, therapist, me trying to get rid of the back pain? So then am I not just perpetuating the cycle?
Yes, and I'm going to give that a yes and, right? Like, because if like that would maybe be the first step for you is just like, okay, we're just going to try a new thing and we're going to see how it goes rather than this life and death, like this has to work or else, or if this doesn't work, then I'm going to try this and this and this and this. Just going, okay, I've been in back pain for 14 years, so a few more months is not going to kill me.
It's not going to. I like to say this to my clients all the time. Everything's an experiment.
Yeah.
In life. So like even now I can hear it, right? It's like I said, these are my first initial reactions just so anyone out there doesn't feel alone.
Yeah, no, I love it. Again, it's more useful to people because the listeners would be like, yeah, but.
Yeah, I always tell the girls in my programs, bring me your yeah buts. Like when we're talking about reprogramming and like our refiring like our neurons together, and they'll be like, yeah, but. And I'm like, oh, I love it. Give it. Because I need to talk about
it. It means we're engaged, right? You're not just people pleasing me, which is actually part of chronic pain. Most of us.
Such a chronic, yes.
Most of us are perfectionists and people pleasers because we learn to be that way for people to like us or to stay safe. And it's this sense of like, if I'm not these things, then you won't like me or I'll get rejected or abandoned. And it's more fear, right? And so part of the deepest work is getting to a place where like, you're really okay with you and you know that you've got your back, even if somebody thinks you're a weirdo or whatever, or, like all the things that we worry about that when we zoom out, we're like, actually, who cares if my colleagues think I'm wearing a weird outfit? It doesn't matter,
Yeah, does it actually matter? I know when you get yourself into that like reality of it, it's like, what's the worst thing that could actually happen? I love future fearing and following it out, to get them to really see like, okay, and then what'll happen?
And then what?
And then
Yep.
what?
Yep.
And then what? So I keep going there. But let me ask you this, just to transition into more of the how, because I love what you're talking about. And genuinely speaking, even right now, I'm thinking I need more work. I have more work to do. I can tell I still have trauma and triggers around my family. Like they still piss me off. I've gotten to a good place where I can kind of be around them, but there are still times where I'll cry. Like, and that's good. Don't get me wrong. I know that. That doesn't mean I'm like never going to heal, but it means I can tell there's something still going on inside of me. I get vertigo. I get this neck pain. I get this lower back pain. All of these ideas are going on. I'm thinking, okay, that's my body telling me something's up. Also, I do just, agree that like this could be there forever and that's okay. It's just going to be my constant.
All of those symptoms fit into the mind-body world. But again, so instead of like, what's wrong with my body, I would encourage you to just think about, what is my body telling me?
What is my body telling me?
Why does my body think I'm unsafe right now? Because vertigo, same thing. It's like your body's like, you better lay down, you better get back in bed. But why? Why does your body think that you shouldn't leave the house during those times?
Just like on a side tangent, vertigo was the worst thing. And it happened to me. This is also just like a side thing. And I think I hear this a lot with clients. It happens when they start joining my program. Out of nowhere, their life blows up. So I started yoga. And when I was doing yoga, I got a vertigo attack and I threw up in the yoga studio.
Sorry, that's not funny.
No, it is ridiculous. I know. And all I could think about is like
humiliating.
I mean, I'm embarrassed. I'm humiliated. I'm trying to better my life. Like this happens a lot, and I'm like, and I get in this like mindset. I'm like, oh, fuck it. Like I'm supposed to be bettering my life and now you won't even let me. And I see this happen. There was a client recently just signed up for my program. It's the relationship reboot program. It's so beautiful. She just came in and then out of nowhere, her car breaks down. Her mom gets sick and her dog needed to go to the vet. Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah. So you're not talking like there's
it's
a breakup
weird.
Suddenly. I was like, well, that would make sense. But no, just weird stuff.
No, it's like sometimes that happens in life. And something I've worked through is like just realizing like, okay, shit's going to happen.
Well, right. And embodying more of that. Because even in that, like, there's like this, I was trying to get better. There's so much like pressure and stress and anger I'm trying to relax, Yeah.
I'm trying to do yoga here and be mindful, damn it.
Right. And so it's like being able to go, okay, like I wanted to relax and this is what was thrown my way today. And sucks.
And that was a tough one for me. It took me out of like going to this concert where I'd spent a lot of money on it to meet Anthony Rapp, because Rent is like my favorite thing in the whole wide world. And so I was going to go get a chance to meet him, but I woke up that morning and I couldn't move. Like the whole world was spinning.
Wow.
And there in those moments, I'm like, this isn't trying to tell me anything. It's just trying to attack me. Do you hear that? Like, do you hear my brain thinking that? I know it's not true, but it's what I was feeling.
Sure. Yeah. Well, and it's your brain trying to keep you safe, but it's misguided, right? It's like your brain is like, this is too much, too overwhelming, too I don't know. Like, what if you say something stupid in front of your idol? Like, I don't know.
That's a good point.
What's going on for your brain? But your brain was like, this is not safe. So I got to keep you home.
I like what you said there. Can I stop down on that real quick? You said it's trying to keep you safe, but it's misguided. That's really powerful. Yeah, keep going. Sorry, that was just so good.
Yeah, so it's like some of the strategy is like working with a scared little kid that is your nervous system, where you're like, hey, buddy, I see what you're trying to do here, but this isn't what I need to stay safe. Like I really want to do this thing. It's okay for me to go out and meet this person. I've been looking forward to it for months, trying to just like love that scared part of you rather than like, you are ruining everything again,
Oh, wow. Why did you just have to like traumatize me and be my mother there for like a hot minute, Nyle? Gee.
Wow. That's a weird kind of trauma bond.
Wow. Yeah, but right there, what you just said, right? That's those voices in our head. Those are the wounds that we hear, which is like, oh, you're just trying to ruin this again. Why do you ruin everything?
Yeah.
Why are you so difficult? Like that's usually my kind of voices in my head. And as we're speaking, I can see that in that moment with the vertigo. And I was again I was trying to meditate. I was trying to like get rid of it, but I wasn't giving it like, compassion.
With a vengeance too, though.
It's like, I think about this with I think about this with my son when I like ask him to do something. And now that you got me thinking about this, and it's like, I need him to like put his clothes away or do something. Like if I'm hounding him and I'm like, do it. What are you doing? Do it now. What are you doing? And I'm just over top of him the whole time. I was like, well, you're just like, you're an idiot. Why haven't you got this done yet? You're so lazy. You're stupid. Just go put it away. It's not that hard. Imagine talking to your kid that way.
Right. Yeah.
Versus just like, I know, sweetheart. Like, Nobody puts their laundry away. There's memes everywhere on the internet for it.
There's whole support groups. Yeah.
Really
No,
are.
but you're right. I mean, that's actually what I was going to bring it to is like talk to yourself the way you talk to your kid or the way you talked to him when he was little, especially. I would never talk to my little 9-year-old the way I talk to myself. Her little face would just, no, it's learning how to pause. For me, it's been a lot of just learning how to pause when I feel that tension in my body, when I have this like go, 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 I have to get everything done, just going like, hold on. I like to teach people to put their hand on their heart. You probably know it activates the same part of your brain that gets activated when you're being hugged. So it just has a soothing effect.
See, listen, everybody, this is why every time you guys are always like, why don't I put my hand on my heart? This is why.
There's a connection in your
There is a
brain.
connection.
Yeah. And so for me, it's just like taking a moment and being like, you're okay, buddy. Like you have a lot going on today, but it's okay.
I like how you talk to yourself.
I do.
I like how you say buddy. I say sweetheart. It's it's cute. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
But I say buddy to my son, which we could get into like the problems of gender stuff with that. But like
I call my daughter buddy too. So
see, I love you. This is so great. Yeah. This is as we should, right? Maybe I should start trying to see if I could talk to my little girl like a buddy as well.
Yeah. She doesn't mind that. One time, just real quick, when she was like 3, she was like splashing bathwater all over the floor. And I was like, dude. And she was like, don't call me dude. And I said, why? I said, okay, but why? I thought it was a gender thing. And she was like, you only say that when you're mad at me. I was like, oh, you're right. But it's like such a like subtle mad at her.
You've built a somatic response inside of her that when she's an adult and someone calls her dude, her whole body's got to shut down.
It doesn't bother her anymore. But like, because her mom and I don't yell, but it was just like, dude, like, could you not do that? You're making a big, that's like the extent of it. But
you only
like,
do that when you're mad at me.
That was like loud. Yeah. So anyway, talking to yourself like kindly the way you would to a little one.
And hearing yourself, I love this. If we speak more on this, is saying if our inner little child, if we try to speak kindly to it and it doesn't respond well to that, and it says, don't call me dude, or don't call me buddy, or don't call me sweetheart. Sweetheart sounds patronizing. Listen to that part. Right? Like if we could just all communicate as well as your daughter did in that moment, to be able to just unabashedly say, don't call me that.
Yeah.
And then instead of getting angry at her, instead of being like, it's not that big a deal.
I want. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's just a word, stupid. Like, right? Like whatever it is, honestly, what probably must have been said to some of us as a kid, you listened to her. You respected her. You were compassionate with her. And you're like, thank you for telling me that.
Yeah.
And that's what we could do to our inner child. If our inner child pushes back against anything, I call it my inner child. I'm not sure if you use a different term or whatnot.
Yeah, no, I do that too. Yeah.
Whatever it is inside of you, whether it be, we all say different things. It could be inner child. It could be a part of yourself. If you do parts work, it could be an attachment wound. It could be a voice, whatever. Everyone has their thing. But being compassionate to listening to it. Like really being able to hear what it's trying to tell you. It's like, I don't like that. I'm like, oh, okay, what do you want?
Right. And that's huge with this type of work, like the journaling process that I've referenced is really hard work. And sometimes people look at it and are like, hell no, I'm not doing this. And sometimes people sort of dive in too quickly and almost take on too much. And so it is listening to that voice. Like if the voice says hell no, then it's like okay, let's really look at this. Is this really too difficult, too scary, too much? Let's start with that fear. Just talk about the fear of journaling.
What would you say to someone who can't trust their body? So like this idea of like listening to your body, because something just came up for me as we're talking and I'm thinking to myself, I need to go for a walk after this, but my body is like, no, right? My body's like, go back, take a nap, just go to bed. But if I listen to my body all the time, I would be eating ice cream and napping in my PJs, and I would have canceled this appointment with you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, talk me through that a little bit.
Yeah, because chronic pain, chronic symptoms are your brain sending out a miscommunication, a danger signal in error. And so something like fatigue, that can be tricky too, right? Because you're like, I feel like I can't function if I haven't slept. But something like chronic fatigue, one of the mind-body strategies is to help your brain like evaluate, to kind of look at like, look, I got 9 hours of sleep last night. I don't need to go back to sleep right now because fatigue is another danger signal.
So it's okay to actually kind of talk to that part of you.
Yeah.
And get it to kind of see the reality. Because I got 9 hours last night, but I am having a chronic fatigue week because something's happening to me right now. And when that happens, I kind of want to just shut down.
Right. And so it's like finding the balance there, right? Like it might be too much for your system for you to just suddenly go, well, I'm not napping because I had 9 hours. Like we don't want you to be a bully to yourself either.
Yeah.
But it's like sort of gently coaching yourself, gently saying like, yeah, you slept 9 hours and you want to go back to bed because you just did this like emotional interview that was a lot. It's like a lot of processing. And so your
Can I
system's
interrupt
like,
you for like a hot minute,
Yeah.
Nyle? I bet you my body knew we were going to be talking about this shit.
Yeah.
And so it went, I don't want to talk to him.
Yeah, your body's
I don't
like,
want to talk to him. He's going to
you
make me
just
heal.
need to hibernate.
Yeah, I am just such a shutter downer when big emotions are coming up. So you actually just helped me understand something about myself right there, where I was like, why don't I want to do this? Like, what's going on? Nothing about you. And I love that you don't take that personal at all. Like, hopefully.
I don't.
But yeah, so that's exactly it. Just kind of getting curious, right? I often say get curious, not furious. Like, get curious with your body, with your thoughts. Why do you want to shut down? Why do you want to not do this? And I did. I would like, even before this, and I was getting ready and whatnot, I was like, what's going on? And it's like, I've done a lot. I had a podcast earlier. I had a client, blah, blah, blah.
No, I hear you. I was feeling a little nervous before this. I was like, I don't know, Jen. This is like, I've been on a few sort of mind body podcasts lately, but I was like, I don't know what this vibe will be like.
What's she going to be like? Is she going to like, yeah, right. Exactly. And so with that coming up and just in general, our bodies can sometimes just be fatigued. It's got all the past stuff going on with it. The more we level up in our lives, the more the stuff is going to come up. So you bring up such good points there of just compassionately, curiously talking to it. And what you said there was you can have a conversation with yourself. It's not, we don't have to listen to it.
Well, yeah, and something like fatigue, again, I'm like, I need my sleep. That's my number one basic need that has to be met. But it might be like on a day like this for you, you tell yourself, I'm going to take a 20-minute nap. I don't need to sleep for 3 hours. But if you just know, I'll feel recharged, I'll feel better if I do that, it's fine. Go ahead. Like you don't have to punish yourself for that, but you probably don't need to sleep all afternoon.
Yeah. And then the place I've gotten to lately is like I love this because as you said, just like have that conversation, like go through your reality of like, okay, well, I got all my sleep in. So I should be okay. Not should in a bad way, but like, reality states. I like the same thing, like when I'm hungry, but I've just eaten. I'm like, well, let me check in with myself. Maybe something else is going on. Maybe I need some water. Maybe I have heartburn for me lately because I'm getting old. Heartburn feels like I'm hungry.
Yeah,
it's the weirdest thing.
That. Yeah,
it's so weird. And so this is beautiful. This is so beautiful. And as we're wrapping up, I want all the women listening to just understand that if you have chronic pain, first off, there's probably a high chance, at least 95% of you do. You listen to me, you hear me talk, you have attachment wounds, which means you've had some trauma in your life. And that's where chronic pain comes from, right, Nyle? Like it just does.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically just like chronic stress and or trauma stored in your body.
Well, we should talk about the 2 books that people should read if you have any others, but definitely When the Body Says No.
Yeah.
That is such a good book for people to start if they want to like learn more about this kind of concept. Also check out the Chronic Pain podcast, The Cure for Chronic Pain. Great podcast. And The Body Keeps the Score.
Yes.
All great. Although I will caveat that The Body Keeps the Score is a heavy ass book.
It's heavy. Yeah.
He just sorry, like just on a side tangent, he just nonchalantly talks about like childhood abuse as if it's like the weather.
Yeah.
You can tell this is a man that's been in this like system for a while because you just get, and I'm just listening like on my walk as I'm sobbing and I'm just like, that's my caveat. So if you want like if you want a gentler one, I think that When the Body Says No is a great one.
I think Gabor Mate is a genius. My only criticism that you would probably ever hear from me about him is that he doesn't really connect those dots. He tells us why we develop chronic pain and symptoms, and I believe that he's right about those things, but he doesn't give a lot of hope for getting out of it, So that's where, when someone like you is like, well, I've read the stuff, I've done the stuff, I don't think you've had somebody really connect the dots for you in terms of like what actually is happening in your brain when these symptoms show up. So my guess would be that if you decide to kind of take a dive into this work, that it won't take you much to work your way out of it. It's like you've done a lot of the emotional processing and the trauma work. You just need someone to help you connect those dots and get out of those fear cycles.
Tell me where to find someone. So talk to me.
Yeah.
Like let's say actually, I'm absolutely going to go and find someone. I think that this is one of those things that, was perfectly put into my life, something I've been wanting to do anyway. So thank you, Nyle, for coming on. Hell, I can work with you if you take on clients right now. But talk to me about how to find someone so then anyone listening also knows how.
Yeah, the pain reprocessing therapy website, just PRT, pain reprocessing therapy. They have a provider directory of people that have been trained. So you can find providers, in all 50 states and other countries as well. There are a couple other places. I can't remember this organization.
If you want to send them to me later, I can put them in the show notes
yes,
later. But that's why, okay, I can start there. And then do you recommend just reaching out to people? Like do you interview them? Like stuff like that? Like how do clients normally find you?
The PRT website, honestly, is where I get a lot of referrals, and then just word of mouth.
And then do they meet up? Is there like a normal thing to have like a 15-minute discovery call or something?
Yeah, most people will do like a free 20-minute consult. Yeah, and yes, that's huge. Like you got to feel comfortable.
You have to feel comfortable. I mean, one of my things that I do in our work with integrated attachment theory is I pair up clients and coaches. Like this is a big thing that I love doing. And same with like clients with therapists. And if they come to me, but they need a therapist, I help them to interview people and go through it, because those of us with trauma as well, it's hard for us to trust. It's hard for us to like ask those questions. And we kind of just think like, oh, they're the expert. But it's like dating. You got to find the right one for you.
Yes, you should be able to feel like you can give feedback and talk openly and say, oh, I don't like the way you said, like someone that you really feel comfortable with.
Like the way I was talking to Nyle today, guys. Find someone that will, he didn't get defensive. He never took it personal. He didn't get off the podcast. He wasn't like, fuck you, I don't want to deal with this shit. Like, I came on here as an expert. What are you doing?
Be like, all right, that guy has some more attachment wounding to heal. But
yeah. And therapists and things are human. So find the person that works with you. Now, if someone wants to work with you specifically, they are listening and they just adore your voice. They want to they're like, I feel safe with him. The way he's handled Jen's feistiness, because I'm also feisty. I'm also sassy. Like he really handled her, and they want to work with you. How can they find you?
Yeah, my website, healingwithinpsychotherapy.com. So just an important distinction between therapists and coaches.
Very big.
Therapists can only see clients who live in the states that they're licensed in. So for me, that's Colorado and Wisconsin. But I also do actually have a separate coaching business because of the chronic pain work and the IAT work that I've done. Those are coaching models. So for me, legally, I just have to have two separate businesses.
Oh, great. So someone could reach out to you and still be coached, or you could be like a consultant for them or whatnot in terms of that. Oh, great to know.
Just that work wouldn't be reimbursable through insurance.
Yeah. It's always the fun part. Yeah.
Great.
Oh, but that's cool. You're in Wisconsin?
I'm in Colorado.
But you are licensed to also work in Wisconsin? Okay.
There.
I have family in Wisconsin that I know need you. So I'm going to go talk to them real quick after this. Oh, well, thank you so much,
Nyle,
thank
you. This was
for
fun.
coming on. This was amazing. I think this was more for me than for anyone else. So again, anyone, thank you for coming along. I often say I'm honored to be a part of your healing journey, but can I just say I'm honored right now that I think all of you just came on my healing journey. So this was so powerful. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we pop off here?
No, just to you. I appreciate your vulnerability and your openness and your willingness to dive in and just say, wait, this part sounds like bullshit. Tell me about this.
Yes, that is.
Like
but bullshit is kind of my jam. So yes. Yeah. Well, thank you, Nyle, for holding space for all of this today. And I hope to have you back sometime.
Thank you. That was fun.
As we wrap up today's conversation, always remember that healing is a journey, not a destination. And it is an honor to be a part of your healing journey. If you want to dig deeper into the topics we covered today, be sure to head over to our show notes, where you can find all of the valuable information mentioned in today's episode right there. And please remember to rate, review, and subscribe if you enjoyed today's podcast. Your feedback means the world to us and helps others discover our podcast. Until next time, remember to speak up and speak honest.